short.
85% of people in the market lose money. Get out of that group by just joining Phil's gang.
Now you can learn to invest like a pro with a pro, Phil Grande. Take advantage of this special offer for a free 10-day trial at philsgang.com.
Try it. 10 days free.
That's philsgang.com.
philsgang.com.
If you want to invest your money and grow your wealth, listen to this.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande at philsgang.com. You know, I get so tired of listening to the same garbage every day, listening to the fake business news network telling you why you should buy this stock, why you should buy, and they're always wrong. Join my gang, philsgang.com, free for 10 days. You're going to learn when to buy a stock and when not to buy a stock. Hey, years ago it was different. You could buy a stock based on fundamentals. You could buy a stock based on earnings. You could buy a stock based on PE ratios. Those days are gone. That ended with QE. That ended when they financially engineered the market in 2008. Gone. Now you got to follow the money. And we have the knowledge because we have the chart. Pro 2 color-coded chart tells you when to buy, when to sell, when to run like hell.
For a limited time, you can join Phil's Gang free for 10 days.
Check it out, philsgang.com. Get the truth, get the knowledge, and understand how the market really works.
What if you could have an in-depth understanding of the stock market just like the pros? Well, thanks to Phil Grande and philsgang.com, you can. philsgang.com offers comprehensive, up-to-date market information designed to help you understand and anticipate market behavior. With philsgang.com, you'll build your investing confidence even through down cycles and periods of uncertainty. Go to philsgang.com. philsgang.com today. 877-600-GANG. 877-600-4264.
Are you a stock market investor without all the information?
What are you, nuts? Market's going up, market's going down. We're getting all this bad information.
How do you invest intelligently? Phil Grande can show you.
If you want real information and you really want to know what the market's going to do and you want the truth, go to my site, philsgang.com, and also listen to me on my radio show every weekday at 3 o'clock Eastern.
Phil's got the answers at philsgang.com.
That's philsgang.com, where you get the truth and you get the information you need about the market.
You want to invest your money and grow your wealth. How do you invest intelligently? Become a Phil's Gang member and receive the training, advice, and software that will take your investing to the next level. Phil's Gang software is easy to use, painless to navigate, and tells you exactly when to buy and sell to help maximize profits. Sign up for a 10-day free trial to see our platform in action. Learn more at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com. What does it take to be a successful investor in the stock market? Developing your skills and learning from an expert like Phil Grande and philsgang.com.
It doesn't have to be hard or complicated to learn how to invest in stocks properly. It's like anything else. You're going to golf, or you're going to learn how to play tennis, ski. You need to be with someone. Learn off of them, one-on-one. Now, that can be really expensive, cost thousands of dollars. But I have a program that you can join for 10 days free.
Go to philsgang.com and sign up for a free 10-day trial. Phil Grande has developed tools to teach you how to invest in stocks properly. Not only when to buy stocks, but how to sell stocks short.
85% of people in the market lose money. Get out of that group by just joining Phil's gang.
Now you can learn to invest like a pro with a pro, Phil Grande. Take advantage of this special offer for a free 10-day trial at philsgang.com.
Try it. 10 days free.
That's philsgang.com.
philsgang.com.
I've been a Phil's Gang member since 2014. Over that time, I've generated over six-figure profits. Following Phil, his charting system has really been a huge impact on my career and my life. I would recommend Phil's Gang to the mom and pop out there. I would recommend it to parents teaching their children. I would recommend it to grandparents. If you really trust in their system, you will do well.
For more information, go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-4264.
Phil Grande has successfully taught tens of thousands of investors how to navigate the market with confidence.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande at philsgang.com. That's right, philsgang.com. Join my gang for 10 days. It's free. If anything, during that 10-day period, you're going to learn how the market really works. You're going to find information that you never had before. You're going to walk away and go, I didn't know that. So join my gang for 10 days free, philsgang.com. And you're also going to learn how to make money when the market goes down. It's kind of silly just sitting there with the market going down, hoping. Why hope when you can sell short and make money. Either way, you make money when the market goes up, you make money when the market goes down. That's the benefit of Phil's Gang. You make money.
Become a Phil's Gang member and receive the training, advice, and software that will take your investing to the next level.
philsgang.com. Sign up free for 10 days.
The stocks discussed on Phil's Gang are not in any way a recommendation or solicitation to buy, sell, or hold. If considering acting on information presented, we first recommend you seek out a competent, licensed professional for advice. Get ready for the radio show that tells you what Wall Street doesn't want you to know.
Oh, I'm a money magnet. Money, money, money's coming to me. Money sets me free. I'm a money magnet. Money, 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 money's coming to me.
It's your daily dose of how to manage your money. And now it's time for Phil's Gang on the Off the Wall Street Radio Network. With your host, Phil Grande.
Good afternoon. Welcome to Phil's Gang. Okay. Well, the market running out of steam. Well, that's no surprise. I told you last week when NVIDIA had their earnings and they jumped up 475 points. That was not good. Because think about it. We have announcements, that are nothing burgers. That we go up 600-700 points in a day. Something stupid will move the market up 600-700 points. This thing only went up 475 points when one stock has more value than all the oil companies in the world put together. What are you, nuts? Or I'm sorry, the 30 largest oil companies in the U.S. or in the world. That's insane. And yet the market only went up 475 points. Well, here's why. Because the institutional money is not going in. And that's what it told us. It told us the big hedge funds, the big insurance companies, the biggest banks, they're not participating. Because they know we have a major problem ahead of us. A couple of major problems. One, we didn't beat inflation, that's for sure. Inflation's going to get worse. Interest rates are going to get worse. They're going to go up. And the institutional money also knows that there's a rotation going on now. Money is coming, they're pulling money out of the tech stocks, and they've been going into value stocks. And that's been going on for about a month and a half. In fact, we've been buying here at Phil's Gang. I have my members buy American Express, JP Morgan. These stocks are doing terrific. Costco, Lowe's. We had some great stocks that, again, have nothing to do with tech, and they're doing fantastic. So there's a rotation going on because they're very worried also about what's going to happen in March when they shut down the bank term funding program. Now, is that going to happen? They're going to shut it down? All the banks going to go broke? Well, I'm going to go over that with you today. But before that, listen to this.
In the U.S. economic growth, it's been so strong, so much stronger than everybody expected.
The fundamentals right now are pretty strong. The jobs report was pretty dang on incredible. The market is up. Inflation's going down. Things are heading in the right direction.
We're running a budget deficit of 7% of GDP right now. We've only done that 3 other times since World War II. And those times we were deep in recession and the unemployment rate was above 7. Running a budget deficit this large at full employment is unheard of. It's crazy.
We have an enormous fiscal wreck, and we're not doing anything about it.
That's right. Budget deficits. They'll kill you. Budget deficits. Nobody wants to talk about them. But, when they say everything's doing well with the economy, what are they looking at? Doesn't make any sense. What are they, nuts? The fake business news network called last week's inflation a statistical blip. What? A statistical blip? No, it's not a statistical blip. It's inflation trend that's worsening. If you really want to know what inflation is, Is it getting worse? Is it getting better? Or what is it? Talk to any small business person. They'll tell you. Anyone owns a small business, that's who you ask. What about inflation? What's going on? They'll tell you the truth, and they'll always be right on, because it's the small business that gets screwed. They get hit hard with inflation. And the other thing, they play games. Not only they play games with the consumer price index, they also play games with the employment index, that stupid birth-death metric system. How stupid is that? They birth them when they want to, and they death them when they want to, depending on what they're looking for a number. But the single largest component in that CPI, 27% of that CPI, or the basket, is the equivalent rent. And that's where they play games. And what that is, that's an estimate of you, a homeowner, what would you be paying if you rented your house? So if you rented your house, what would you get? And that's where they play with the numbers right there. That's where they play with the numbers. And also they play with the inflation number with the inventory. They'll raise inventory or they'll lower inventory. So you don't get any truth. So when you hear these people say this kind of stuff, it's a joke. I mean, how is an economy doing well? How's it doing well when they don't have the average worker? Think about this: making $55,000 a year. The average worker making $55,000 a year has to dip in their own pocket and take out $9,700 a year due to higher prices. They got to dip in their own pocket. Under Trump, they had an extra $6,500 in their pocket at the end of the year. See, that's where you measure inflation. In just 12 months under this Bidenomics. I mean, Bidenomics is a friggin' joke. All Bidenomics is a socialist program, paying more to live much worse. It's a socialist program. And think, if things are so good, then why is it that the record savings have dropped from 32% or $2.2 trillion during COVID to now 4.2% or $190 billion in 2024? That doesn't happen when you have a great economy, a good economy. And when you have an economy where you have record personal bankruptcies increasing 17%, business bankruptcies increasing 2024 30%. Does that sound like a good economy? You don't have good economies when that happens. Credit cards, $1.3 trillion. Delinquencies are up now 50%. And 49% of cardholders are making minimum payments at an interest rate of 22%. So you think about it. People who are rolling over their credit card every month and not paying it off, they're paying $100. $100 cost. Remember, if the interest rate's 22 on every $100 of debt you have with a 22% interest rate, that means you're paying a cost of $22 on every $100 you have debt. You got to pay $22 on that 100. You'll never get out of debt. And they're saying the economy's doing well. Auto delinquencies at a 13-year high. So you got credit card delinquencies up 50%. You got auto delinquency at a 13-year high. You got rent, okay? We haven't seen rent this high in over 14 years. I'm sorry, since 2014, or 2015. So, or wages. Wages right now at 15%. 15%, these wage increases since Biden's been in office, 15%. But homes have gone up 32%. That's low. Sarasota, are you kidding? They're up about 151%. But let's use 32%. Wages, again, going up 15%, but your auto's going up 38%. Wages going up 15%. But are you kidding? Food? People are absorbing a record 15 to 20% of their home take pay goes to food. 15, 20%. So what in the hell are they talking about? It's just crazy. They don't want to tell the truth. Don't want to tell the truth. And the real key is, why is it the people They are participating in the debt resolution program. They're increased by 52%. In the debt resolution, you don't have an increase in those programs and things are good. What are they, nuts? Be right back.
Want more information on this show? Go to philsgang.com or give them a call at 877-600-GANG.
When making wise investment decisions, Phil Grande has some sound reasons you should join Phil's gang.
When I started this, they asked me, okay, can you explain to people why they should join the gang? Gee, I thought about that. And I guess to make money. But more than that, to get good direction on which way the economy's really going. We get so much crap, so many lies, how great the economy is and how great the tech business is, and when it's not. The problem is we have too many people in Washington and in this industry that just don't tell the truth. The truth is everything. And here at Phil's Gang, we stick with the facts. We tell the truth. We make sure our members, are getting the best information, and our listeners, like you. We make that information available to you and make it simple and understandable.
Good investing means understanding how the stock market works. Join today at philsgang.com. What does it take to be a successful investor in the stock market? Developing your skills and learning from an expert like Phil Grande and philsgang.com.
It doesn't have to be hard or complicated to learn how to invest in stocks properly. It's like anything else. You're going to golf, you're going to learn how to play tennis, ski. You need to be with someone, learn off of them, one-on-one. Now that can be really expensive, cost thousands of dollars. But I have a program that you can join for 10 days free.
Go to philsgang.com and sign up for a free 10-day trial. Phil Grande has developed tools to teach you how to invest in stocks properly. Not only when to buy stocks, but how to sell stocks short.
85% of people in the market lose money. Get out of that group by just joining Phil's Gang.
Now you can learn to invest like a pro with a pro, Phil Grande. Take advantage of this special offer for a free 10-day trial at philsgang.com.
Try it. 10 days free.
That's philsgang.com.
philsgang.com.
There's a lot of noise out there in the financial world. Bank failures, interest rates, bonds versus stocks. It's a lot. That's why it's important to find a voice of reason that can guide you through these volatile times. Phil Grande and philsgang.com is where you can find honest, helpful guidance to successful investing.
Get the knowledge and understand how the market really works.
And for a limited time, you can join Phil's Gang free for 10 days.
philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com.
You want to invest your money and grow your wealth. How do you invest intelligently? Become a Phil's Gang member and receive the training, advice, and software that will take your investing to the next level. Our team is comprised of successful investors, all with proven track records. Phil's Gang software is easy to use, painless to navigate, and tells you exactly when to buy and sell to help maximize profits. Learn about common market mistakes and how to minimize them. Phil's Gang has successfully taught tens of thousands of investors how to navigate the market with confidence. You don't need to be a seasoned investor to benefit from the Phil's Gang platform, no matter what level of investor you are. Phil's Gang strategies for investing are designed to put you on the path to success. Sign up for a 10-day free trial to see our platform in action, avoid market pitfalls, and start winning with Phil's Gang. Learn more at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande at philsgang.com. I've been doing this business of trading over 55 years. God, they make it so complicated. It doesn't have to be. The best way to learn is to follow me, my actual investments. That's right. When I buy a stock, you follow me. Do exactly what I do. That's the best way to learn.
Check out the free 10-day trial. Learn more at philsgang.com.
Be my co-pilot at philsgang.com. Do what I do.
That's philsgang.com. When the stock market is up one day and down the next, you need experienced advice from a pro.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande at philsgang.com. I know you're sitting there watching the stock market. You're going, what? Is this nuts? Market goes up 700 points. Next day goes up 800 points. Then the market goes back down. Then it goes back up. What that is volatility.
You want to invest your money and grow your wealth. How do you invest intelligently?
But you got to anticipate what's going to happen with the market. And that's what we give you. information so you can anticipate in advance what the market's going to do, so you know what stocks to buy, you know what stocks to short. It's all about having good information and anticipation. You got to anticipate. The one thing you can't do is rely on your brokers. Listen.
Our responsibility begins and ends with our partners and our shareholders, and that's it.
What are you, nuts? Partners or shareholders? You're not included.
Check out the free 10-day trial and follow Phil to investing success. Learn more at philsgang.com. philsgang.com. Welcome back. Are you ready to make profits in the stock market? Why not check out philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-4264. Now, here's Phil.
Hey, welcome back to Phil's Gang. You know, when you're investing in stocks, and you can get so distracted with all this noise going on about inflation and so forth, and wages, and you got to really just put all that stuff out of your mind when you're trading stocks or you're investing in stocks. Because first of all, when you're investing in stocks, we don't follow fundamentals anymore. Nobody can follow fundamentals anymore and make any money in stocks. You got to follow where the money's going. And that's what's important. Where's it going? And just like, for example, last week when NVIDIA had that big gap up, and it was disappointing because it didn't go up enough, really. Okay, I mean, we should have had a 600, 700, 800 point move. So, and what you should be doing right now, we were in, after the market collapsed from July 2023 to October 2023, and from October 2023 to January 2024, we started to rotate more out of the tech stocks. We made a lot of money on the tech stocks, just like everybody else did, the same tech stocks, the same ones. But we started to rotate at the same time into banks. And we rotated into American Express and JP Morgan. These are value stocks. This, I think, is where you want to be for the next couple of months. If they're going to continue to push this market up, because we are in the election season, and that's what they do. I mean, it's historic. Just go look it up. Every election season, they always push the market up, no matter who's in the White House. It's just, it is what it is. So I think the important thing is, you know, stop buying on the dip these tech stocks, because they're really getting dangerous. And especially the ones that gapped up. When NVIDIA gapped up, we had a lot of stocks, a lot of tech stocks also gap up, but they're not following through. And what a gap up is, if you have a stock that, let's say, is trading at $100 and it gaps up to $125, that's exhaustion. In other words, they used all their ammo. Now they're out of ammo. And what happens is that stock, very rarely when it gaps up like that, because when they gap up, they try to back and fill it all the time. So it's very hard to get into these stocks that are gapping up and then try to make money on them. I mean, if you take Amazon as an example, Amazon had a big gap up. And then you take Meta, had a big gap up. And they were saved by NVIDIA, because when NVIDIA gapped up that day, after they gapped up, they started to move up a little bit more, but now they stalled. So notice if you take Meta was at around $393, and then it went up to about $401, and then it had a hell of a time. It just kept going sideways, and then finally she started to get a little bit of movement, but and she started to pull back. She was going to start back and filling that gap up. So in other words, let's say you were at 405 and it went up to 483. It will always try to come back and fill that gap. So be careful. When these gap up, remember why? Because they stop. They start going sideways because they're exhausted and they used all their ammo. So don't chase those stocks, especially now. Instead, stay with some real good value stocks. I've had my members go in and buy ETFs, for example, XLI. That's a beautiful ETF. It's industrials. And you can see how industrials are now getting stronger because money is rotating out of tech into the industrials. And XLV, money's rolling out of the tech stocks and going into healthcare. So try to stick with the ETFs. XLP, that's a consumer staples. That's doing well. But the one I like the best is XLF and XLI. If you get those two, you own all the banks, you own all the industrials, and then once you have them for about a week and they're doing well for you, go in and see what holdings are in that group, and then see which individual stock is the strongest. So you're always better off to start with the ETF first when we're in a situation like we're in now. Huge inflation. Stocks are just so overbought. But there's some stocks, again, like these growth stocks that have not been overbought. And so these are the ones you should look at and just be very careful with the tech right now. Until we get a big correction in tech, every time you buy a tech stock, you're really putting risk out there you don't need. I mean, what's wrong with, we had, for example, GE. I mean, we did great in GE, okay? I know it's not a sexy name, right? But boy, I mean, that stock did really well for us. We rotated into that. We were in and out of GE starting back in November. We bought a lot of stocks in October, November. After the market in July of 2023, it pulled back about 10%. We saw a great opportunity to buy a lot of good stocks, and that's where we started to buy GE. We bought it in November. And that stock has gone beautiful. That stock has gone from 113 up to 143. 184 now, but that's probably about, I don't know, maybe 15%, something like that. But my point is, try to stay with those stocks. Okay, we can help you with those stocks. All right, so don't keep trying to get into the same stocks, Meta, Nvidia, Amazon, all those same 7 stocks. Which, by the way, the 7 stocks are no longer 7. We're down to about 4 magnificent stocks. And out of those 4 magnificent stocks, you have 2 of them, as I told you, like Amazon and Meta. If you get into those right now, those are big gap up stocks. That's very high risk. Where if you get into GE, you got a nice stock. It's been going up steady. It's all buyers, very few sellers around. Those are the stocks you should be working on, value. And we'll be happy to help you with those. For 10 days, you can be with us free, where you're really investing right next to us, right alongside of us. Every day we have our portfolio, and you're participating in that portfolio. So try it. It works.
Want more information on this show? Go to philsgang.com or give them a call at 877-600-GANG.
When the stock market is volatile, how do you invest intelligently?
Hi, I'm Phil Grande at philsgang.com. There's no need for you to be panicking in a market that goes up 800 points one day, 700 points, then it goes down again. All you need is good advice, need good direction. You don't get that from your CNBC and the Fox Business and all these crazy shows. You don't. Here's what you get from them. Thank you, Jim Cramer. But this is something that this really bugs me. Listen to this.
Our responsibility begins and ends with our partners and our shareholders, and that's it.
What? Their responsibility is to their partners and shareholders and not to you? Check my site out, philsgang.com.
When the stock market is up one day and down the next, you need the experience of Phil Grande at philsgang.com.
What a difference it makes in your financial life. philsgang.com. It works.
When making wise investment decisions, Phil Grande has some sound reasons you should join Phil's gang.
You know, when I started this, they asked me, okay, can you explain to people why they should join the gang? Gee, I thought about that. And I guess to make money. But more than that, to get good direction on which way the economy's really going. We get so much crap, so many lies, how great the economy is and how great the tech business is, and when it's not. The problem is we have too many people in Washington and in this industry that just don't tell the truth. The truth is everything. And here at Phil's Gang, we stick with the facts. We tell the truth. We make sure our members, are getting the best information, and our listeners, like you. We make that information available to you and make it simple and understandable.
Good investing means understanding how the stock market works. Join today at philsgang.com.
I signed up and I've learned an incredible amount from Phil and Steve. The staff at Phil's Gang gives platinum level service and stock recommendations. It's as simple as that. At the end of a month or so, I've always been in the black. Phil's Gang is a class act. I'm happy to be a member.
Find out more at philsgang.com or call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. That's 877-600-4264. When making wise investment decisions, Phil Grande has some sound reasons you should join Phil's Gang.
When I started this, they asked me, can you explain to people why they should join the gang? Gee, I thought about that. And I guess to make money. But more than that, to get good direction on which way the economy's really going. We get so much crap, so many lies, how great the economy is and how great the tech business is, and when it's not. The problem is we have too many people in Washington and in this industry that just don't tell the truth. The truth is everything. And here at Phil's Gang, we stick with the facts. We tell the truth. We make sure our members are getting the best information, and our listeners, like you. We make that information available to you and make it simple and understandable.
Good investing means understanding how the stock market works. Join today at philsgang.com.
What, are you nuts? If the stock market can make you so rich, especially Apple and Microsoft and Google and Amazon and the rest, why are so many Americans poor? If the 401k promises you a retirement, then why is it we are in a retirement crisis? Here's the answer. Because 85% of you get out of the market too late. I fixed that with my color-coded chart, which tells you when to buy, when to sell, and when to get out. That's right, when to run like hell. Check it out. You get a free membership and the free color-coded chart for 10 days. Check it out, philsgang.com.
At St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, we're fighting against childhood cancer every day. At the heart of this battle are our donors.
Most of us want to make some type of difference in the lives of others. St. Jude does miraculous work.
The fact that no one has to pay, it's a place where everyone is treated as an equal.
Everybody is welcome here, and it doesn't matter your religion or what part of the world you're from, all that is taken away. It just gives you some hope.
It's just a nice feeling to put your energy into something that really does genuinely make a difference in a child's life.
There's just no greater gift. If we have the ability to help, then we have a responsibility to help.
Finding cures, saving children. St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Find out how you can help at stjude.org.
Welcome back. Are you ready to make profits in the stock market? Why not check out philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-4264. Now, here's Phil.
And welcome back to Phil's Gang. When we started this I've been in this business or trading for about 52 years. But we started Phil's Gang, I think it's about 22 years now. 22, 23, almost on our 25th anniversary. And it works. It really works. Or we wouldn't be around this many years. Because what we do is, when you're learning how to invest in a stock, you're right there with us. We have a portfolio, and you're in that portfolio with us, and as you're watching as we invest using that portfolio, those stocks, and we explain to you, okay, we're going to do this with Apple. Like right now, we're shorting Apple. We explain why we're shorting Apple, how it makes sense to short Apple. And then we have, 6 stocks that we really focus on, and they're real popular stocks. And that's how you learn. If you just focus on those stocks, and if you just are with us for 10 days, you'll learn so much in 10 days. And if you leave, don't stay with us after 10 days, that's okay. All we ask, if you're going out and you have our knowledge, to just help St. Jude once in a while. That's all. Send a little check. That's all we ask. You don't have to stay if you don't want. I mean, we give you 10 days of education nobody else will ever give you. And you'll learn how the market works. I mean, every time you put on CNBC or one of these shows, I mean, it's always the hot stock, There's no such thing as a hot stock. You want to get burned? Try to find a hot stock. You'll get burned every time with a hot stock. The market is forward-looking. You got to understand that. And there's no question, looking forward, that this market, again, is going to crash. But I can't give you the date. But in the meantime, and I think that's what separates us from everybody else. In the meantime, well, we recognize with our experience going forward, the market is going to have one hell of a correction. But at that same time, because it's not correcting right this moment, but out in the future, we're prepared for that correction. And in the meantime, we're in the trend, the upward trend, buying the best stocks in that trend. So we're making money in a trending market that's going up. We're not going to fight the market, but we're very prepared for when that day comes and one morning you wake up, and it will happen. It will happen. There's no question about it. And all of a sudden the birds aren't singing and everything's quiet, and all of a sudden that morning you wake up and you see the market's down 1,200 points. You go, what the heck happened? But you got to be prepared. But you already have to be in positions that you're making money when it goes down. When those moments happen and you panic and you're scrambling, you lose time. You know, it's the old saying, if you want to make money, buy stocks. If you want to make fortunes, fortunes are made when the markets crash. That's when fortunes are made. You ask anyone who's been in this business a long time, that's where the money is, when the markets start going down. And you got to be prepared for that. You just can't sit back, oh, geez, down 1,200 points this morning, what do I do? No, you got to pull the lever. You know exactly what stocks we're going to be in. We know exactly what positions we're going to have, what we're looking for, and we'll help you with that. So you learn a lot in 10 days, so check it out. Go to philsgang.com. Okay, so did you know, this is interesting, did you know there are more bank failures in 2023 than in 2008? Most people don't realize that. There's more bank failures in 2023 than in 2008. Banks that failed in 2023 wiped out $548 billion in assets, compared to the banks that got wiped out in 2008 of $337 billion in assets. So the total assets of 3 bank failures in 2023 amount to 88% of the total assets from the 25 bank failures in 2008. What are you, nuts? NVIDIA, let's talk about NVIDIA. It celebrated a 30% gain over 2 days due to that earnings. On February 21st, right? Popped up. But it was anemic. Because why? Because, remember, that should have had at least a 700-point rally. The problem, the institutions are not participating. And one problem they have is that one reason why the rally is anemic is they're not participating, but one reason they're not is because if you go look at Amazon or you look at Google, part of the Magnificent Seven, they gapped up. And then they gapped up and stopped dead. They're exhausted. That's an exhaustion point when you see that happen. But they're really worried about the banks. The banks are really in bad shape because the banks, not only are they a casualty of Bidenomics, inflation, but they're a casualty of QE going back to 2008 that was never fixed. You know that? Since 2008, for 14 years, they've been lying to us that the banks are in good shape. No, they're not. They've never been fixed. Never have they been fixed. They've been duct taped, not fixed. Now remember, Powell raised rates from 0 to 5%. Banks purchased Okay, under QE, zero rate interest bonds, remember that, giving them yields of 2.3% above zero. So in other words, if you were a company and you had zero rates, and the bank would loan you, right? So in other words, you would have a rate of zero as a banker. You would loan it to a CEO of about, maybe you loan it to him about 3%, 3.5%. Well, as I said last week, they're paying about let's say $2 million in interest. Now they're paying about 7%, which they're paying about $12 million in interest. This hurts. But the real problem is this: 180 banks. In other words, the first banks that went down, Silicon Valley Bank, First Republic, and Signature, okay, they had to declare unrealized loss of $60 billion. Now remember why they went down. Oh, I know, yes, of course, because they bought treasuries and they were getting 2% yields, and then when he went and Powell decided we better raise rates because of inflation, they went from 0 to 5%, so they're getting 2%. As soon as they got above 2%, the banks were losing money. But that's not the only reason. It started in 2008. We never fixed the problem. See, the bank never Bush had an opportunity to fix the banks. Let the weak banks go down. Let the strong banks pick up their assets. Yes, it'd be painful. We have to go into recession. But get rid of the weak players to make sure what we have left are the strongest banks. Because it's the banking system that makes your economy what it is. If you got a crappy banking system, very weak, for 14 years, we've been masking the system where the banks are insolvent for 14 years. That's why the banks got hit in March of 2023. It was going all the way back to 2008. Let the banks fail, but they wouldn't. Obama wouldn't let the banks fail. Because who owns the banks? Remember, the banks are owned, okay, by the very, very wealthy, the biggest guys. I mean, they're huge. And the banks own the Federal Reserve. They're the biggest shareholders of the Federal Reserve. So the banks are controlled by our owners, and the Federal Reserve is owned by the banks. So everything's done is for the interest of the top 1%. So, which we call our owners. But now we've got a real problem. Real problem. We'll talk about that when we get back. And what are they going to do with this bailout? It's almost over. These banks have to come up with the money. And are they going to be able to? That's the question. What happens if they don't?
Want more information on this show? Go to philsgang.com or give them a call at 877-600-GANG. You want to invest your money and grow your wealth. How do you invest intelligently? Become a Phil's Gang member and receive the training, advice, and software that will take your investing to the next level. Phil's Gang software is easy to use, painless to navigate, and tells you exactly when to buy and sell to help maximize profits. Sign up for a 10-day free trial to see our platform in action. Learn more at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com. Want the truth when investing in the stock market? Here's how.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande at philsgang.com. Listen to my radio show every day because that's where you're going to get the truth. You're not going to get the truth listening to these dopes on Fake Business News Network. The other day, Kramer said, don't listen to the banks. They're giving you wrong information. When he told you to buy Merrill Lynch, remember? And what happened? They went broke.
Get the truth at philsgang.com.
Join my gang, philsgang.com. Get the truth. And also listen to me on my podcast on YouTube and Rumble. That's philsgang.com. Hi, I'm Phil Grande at philsgang.com. You know, over the years, I've successfully taught tens of thousands of investors how to navigate the market with confidence. Become a Phil's Gang member and receive the training, the advice, and the software that will take your investing to the next level. You know, I have a team comprised of successful investors, all with proven track records. And Phil's Gang software is easy to use, painless to navigate, and tells you exactly when to buy, when to sell, when to hold, when to run like hell, even short. Learn about common market mistakes and how to minimize them. You don't have to be a seasoned investor to benefit from Phil's Gang and platform. No matter what level investor you are, my strategies for investing are designed to put you on the path to success. Sign up for the 10-day free trial to see our platform in action. Avoid market pitfalls and start winning with Phil's Gang. Learn more at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com.
You want to invest your money and grow your wealth. How do you invest intelligently? Become a Phil's Gang member and receive the training, advice, and software that will take your investing to the next level. Phil's Gang software is easy to use, painless to navigate, and tells you exactly when to buy and sell to help maximize profits. Sign up for a 10-day free trial to see our platform in action. Learn more at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com. When the stock market is up one day and down the next, you need experienced advice from a pro.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande at philsgang.com. I know you're sitting there watching the stock market. You're going, what? Is this nuts? Market goes up 700 points. Next day goes up 800 points. Then the market goes back down. Then it goes back up. What that is volatility.
You want to invest your money and grow your wealth. How do you invest intelligently?
But you got to anticipate what's going to happen with the market. And that's what we give you. Information so you can anticipate in advance what the market's going to do, so you know what stocks to buy, you know what stocks to short. It's all about having good information and anticipation. You got to anticipate. The one thing you can't do is rely on your brokers. Listen.
Our responsibility begins and ends with our partners and our shareholders, and that's it.
What are you, nuts? Partners or shareholders? You're not included.
Check out the free 10-day trial and follow Phil to investing success. Learn more at philsgang.com. philsgang.com. As the new year approaches, make a resolution to challenge yourself to become the best investor you can be. Phil Grande can take your trading to a whole new level. Innovative stock market investing tools and the experience of over 50 years combined to give you the edge in controlling your financial future. As a Phil's Gang member, you're taught the essential strategies of investing using stock charts, training videos, and seminars. It's information Wall Street doesn't want you to know. Learn more at philsgang.com. philsgang.com. Welcome back. Learn, invest, and make profits with Phil Grande. Simply go to philsgang.com. Now, here's Phil.
We have an enormous fiscal wreck, and we're not doing anything about it.
That's right. Now, let me tell you, okay, again, if they're going to continue this rally, and we'll know because March is going to be the real problem. I'm going to talk about that in a second. But if they continue this rally, let's say up to May, make sure that you're in the value stocks. The stocks have the best relative strength. Stop going to all these tech stocks. Okay, you're going to get hammered one day. The value stocks are doing better right now. But let's get back to why the market's not doing anything right now. It's just stalling because they're very worried about the bailout. Is there going to be a bailout? Now remember, if you take in 2008, the problems we're having today are from 2008. The 25 largest U.S. banks lost $332 billion market cap. The 15 largest banks, I'm talking about 2008, lost $46 billion in market cap. And then you take the 5 leading U.S. banks, they lost $109 billion in market cap. And that includes Bank of America, Wells Fargo, J.P. Morgan, Schwab. Yeah, they lost, but they've never been fixed. Never. They went on, again, being insolvent right up to today. This is what people don't understand. Just another scam. This has been a 14-year scam. And they used in 2008, it was called the Emergency Economic Stabilization Act of 2008. That's the equivalent of the act we now have today, which is called the Banking, I can't think of the name now. The Bank Resolution Act. Bank Fed, wow. The Bank Term Fed, wait a minute, what is it? Bank Term Funding program. Jeez, I'm getting them both screwed up. The bank term funding program today is the same program in 2008, but 2008 they called it the Emergency Economic Stabilization Act. Wow. So for 14 years, these banks have been insolvent, but they've been propping them up. It's just another scam created through the Federal Reserve, created out of Wall Street, and the biggest banks on Wall Street control the Federal Reserve, and they created the QE scam, they created the Obamacare scam, they created the money supply scam, and now it's caught up. So in March of 2023, just like in 2008, they got slammed. That's when the bank term funding program was put in place with Silicon Valley Bank, First Republic, Signature. They had unrealized losses of $50 billion. But wait a minute. What they were hiding it wasn't just those banks. It was another 180 regional banks of unrealized losses of $650. They didn't want them to realize those losses of $650 billion. So that's when they came in and changed the name from the Emergency Economic Stabilization Act back to the bank term, I can't get this, funding program. And so it's all phony. It's all fake. So even today, you take the investment banks, the biggest investment banks, the largest banks like Citi and Bank of America, Wells Fargo, JP Morgan, they're insolvent. You know JP Morgan's insolvent by $40 billion going all the way back to 2008. And they have unrealized losses, $275 billion. But when they report their earnings, they never talk about it. So what they did, they took the 180 regional banks that have this historic commercial real estate losses. And what's happening is these banks are broke, and they're sitting with these huge commercial real estate losses. Remember, it's not the big banks, it's the small regional banks that are going to get hit. So what they did is they just, again, replaced the Emergency Economic Stabilization Act with the bank term funding program, so now it's doubled. So in other words, they never fixed the first program. They funded it under the Emergency Economic Stabilization Act, and now they're going into their second deal, which is the bank term funding program, which started in March with the first three banks. But it's gotten worse than that. There's another 180 banks that are coming due. Now, the problem is, how are they going to pay? Remember, for a year now, have these banks gotten better shape so they can pay back what they're borrowing? No, they've gotten worse. They've gotten worse. And here's what's really bad. When people say, oh, there's not going to be a crash, think about this. It's gotten worse. The Federal Reserve goes in to keep them alive. They buy their terrible treasuries and mortgage-backed securities that are worthless. Worthless. But they paid them for those securities par, face value. So if they had a treasury that used to be worth, let's say, $100, it's only worth 1 penny, they paid them $100. But these banks have not taken that $100 and improved themselves. They're broke. They're still broke. They can't pay it back. So you and I, in the end, are going to get caught paying all this garbage that the Fed is buying. And that's what's going to tip over this whole economy. So you got 180 banks sitting out there, $650 billion in losses they have not recorded. Remember, they don't have to record them until they go down. So they're operating, and they're oh, look at this. Joe Suckface Bank just made great earnings. Yay! Stock goes up 10 points. Well, no, they didn't make any money because they don't have to realize their losses. They're really losing money. And the same thing with Bank of America, Citigroup, Wells Fargo, still losing money from 2008. Never fixed it. Never fixed it. This thing's been one hell of a scam. So if you take Silicon Valley Bank, First Republic, Signature, when they went under, remember how they went under? They were buying all these treasuries that they were getting a return. They went and borrowed money at zero, and they bought treasuries that were given 2.4%. And then when Powell starts raising rates, now the rate's not at 0, now it's at 5, so they're losing money. And in all the mortgages they're writing at 2.3%, 3%, they're losing money on those mortgages too. So the idea is, what are they going to do? Are they going to roll these over? Are they going to kick the can down the road? Are you kidding? They already kicked the can down the road from 2008. So the last week of March 2023, these banks under the Bank Term Funding Program, remember, they borrowed $12 billion. That was in March. April 5th comes, they borrowed another $80 billion. June comes, they borrowed another $100 billion. This is unbelievable. And what they're putting up for collateral is worthless. But to make it look good, they're saying, oh, those treasuries there that you bought for $100, they're worth $100. No, they're not. They're worth 2 cents. So these banks have not improved their financial position. They don't have the cash to repay, and that's going to be on March 11th. And so that's why everything's slowing down. People are worried what's going to happen. Well, I think what they're going to do is this. I think at the end, Jamie Dimon, again, remember, he's the CEO of J.P. Morgan. The 5 biggest banks, remember, are the biggest shareholders of the Federal Reserve. I think what they're going to do is they'll put a group together. Jamie Dimon will put like the 5 biggest banks together. And I think what they'll do is borrow money from the Fed at 0 interest because they control them. Then they'll lend it to the regional banks. And then they'll have the Federal Reserve guarantee J.P. Morgan and the 4 other banks against any losses to get this thing through the election season. So if they do that, they'll kick this can down the road. But at one day, there's no more road, there's no more can, and that's why I keep telling you, yes, there's going to be a crash, no question about it, but you got to be prepared for that crash. You just don't want to wake up one morning and there it is. If someone really believes there won't be a crash, if someone's in the stock market and they really believe that, and they keep buying these stocks that are ridiculous values, and they keep buying just the tech stocks, that's good. It's not going to be a good ending. So why don't you try our gang for 10 days? Take a look at the stocks we're in, the value stocks. I mean, just look at what we did with GE. You know, everything isn't tech. If you're jumping into tech right now, you can get hurt. Join my gang, philsgang.com, 10 days free, and it's fun. And please help St. Jude.
You have been listening to Phil's Gang with your host, Phil Grande, on the Off the Wall Street Radio Network. Off the Wall Street Radio Network. Remember to visit Phil's website at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com. Or call the office, 877-600-4264. That's 877-600-4264.